we're doing now is we're putting out a live webinar. It's how to get more tattoo clients. And I will cover a bunch of different strategies that you could use that will be both in the real world, but also tie into digital world, right? And now some of them, or almost all of them, would be useful to use on my tools. TattooNOW has been building tools for tattooers for a long time. But if this isn't necessarily just a straight up sales pitch, you could use any variety of these tools. There's other places that do all of these things, not as well, not as customized for tattooers, but again, you can go and find places to do it for free if you want to for a while. Then when it's working, then you can maybe come back. But anyways, it's well worth it. So, but the main point is you could watch this and still get a lot of good value out of it. And yeah, so we are going live. Okay, so it looks like we've got some viewers started on the YouTubes. Maybe we'll give it 1 or 2 more minutes, and again, we'll cover both real world tactics, and then tie it to the virtual tools. And again, it's really that dance back and forth between the two. And there are things that you could do that cost money, like advertising, Facebook ads or Instagram ads, although I don't necessarily encourage people to spend money on those beasts. There's usually other places where your budget could be spent first. But that said, once you have your systems in place, paid advertising has its place, and you can attach it straight to dollars. So yeah, but as tattooers, there's I think I've got about 12 or 15 different ideas fired up. So let us know in the chat rooms where you're beaming in from, and then maybe some issues or some places of friction that you have. So, I definitely have a full outline for a seminar here, but if you want me to cover anything in particular, definitely let us know. And I don't know, what do you think, Mark?
All right, I just got done posting that quick live I did as a post, so we'll probably get a few more people trickling in here as we move along. Let me just make sure that actually did what I thought it did. And oh man, technology is hard some days, man, and that's kind of what we're here to talk about, anyways, isn't it? Right? How to make technology work for us when most of us. Okay, from my end, I'm a tattooer, and the business end is the hardest part for me. I'm more of an artist. I want to. My younger days, I wanted to do nothing but tattooing. Handling the business end was an absolute nightmare.
Wait, Mark, are we starting officially?
Oh, sure, whatever you want, man.
We start this officially?
I was actually just barking out here. But honestly,
the
business end is the hardest part. So, and you've been doing marketing and business and all that for forever. So this is kind of your gig, your show. So you tell me what's the simplest ways for people to get started and improve their livelihood these days.
Yeah, well, the first thing is just recognizing that for the most part, if you're watching this video and you're in the tattoo world, we probably didn't come out of it having an MBA in business. For the most part, you ended up drawing and then tattooing and then either becoming an independent contractor, of a business, or potentially owning a business someday. And as people are watching this, you could always let us know in the comments, whether you own tattoo shops or wait, you know what? Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. I have a presentation set up right here, and we could maybe just get started here. So why don't I click next? Okay, so what are we doing here today? We are going to talk about how to get more tattoo clients, and this is it's a fun seminar for me. For years, I've been using the websites and Google and business practices kind of to keep artists almost too busy, right? Flooding their emails. Then there was a little bit of a shift in moving to organizational tools. So after flooding people with too many emails, then now I could help organize communications. And Mark, you were talking about that one box, earlier before the show. Like, maybe we could talk about it a little bit. For me, it's changed how I communicate. So what the one box is, for instance, is a spot where all of your DMs, your Instagram and Facebook DMs and Google chats and business SMSs and the phone number that dials in and leaves messages all come into one place. So you don't have to shut off your but we'll talk about all these things later.
Well, I mean, on a personal note here, like that's been one of our biggest problems over the years, communicating with customers. Every artist seems to have their own preferred platform and communication method. And as a small business, it's virtually impossible for even us to monitor all of those effectively. So we would turn some off or accidentally miss customers' messages, things like that. So to drop everything in one inbox, maybe that's a game changer for us. We have no excuse for missing a message anymore.
You know, it's pretty amazing. And again, some of these, you know, I hate to, you know, like when you say game changer, it's like, you know, I'll probably end up saying that 2 or 3 times through the course of this talk, mostly because you know, the different tools that are available to us now, they just, as we know, computers just keep advancing fast. And so, you know, the same stuff, I mean, I've always been at the forefront of computery software, tattoo shop, businessy stuff. And, you know, years ago, I would be able to do, you know, 7 figures, you know, 8 over time, you know, using some really awesome computers for multiple studios and locations. But the tools that we have available to us now, you know, again, the one box is one thing. Then we have, you know, automated posting, you know, to multiple platforms that can then cascade, you know, throughout the whole, you know, social crack verse. Is that a word? So I know social crack is a word.
It is
Social
now.
crack verse. But well, here
Let's
let me
start doing a social crack dealer.
you know, it's I hate, sometimes I feel like I'm like, hey, look, I don't like, part of it is, and we could talk about that later, but part of it's just, you know, the quick answer is you want to get more action out of the social medias. You just have to be more addicted to using all of its features more than somebody else with high quality content, right? Because ultimately they all reward high quality content if everybody's using all the nooks and crannies. But again, for, you know, for us, what we're talking about is getting more tattoo clients. So, I mean, for me, social media, it is a spot where you can communicate with your clients, but it's not designed to get you clients. Like, you know, social media is designed to feed on you, or use you as you know, not to feed you, right? You know, so it wants your attention so that it can advertise to you, not, you know, deliver tattoo clients to you. Now you can use it sometimes, but we'll talk about all the things that, all the other things. And you know, I guess I'm on the slide here real quick. I want to get off this because I don't want to talk about me. I want to talk about tattooers. But you know, but let's just say real quick. So I've been using computers for decades to help tattooers get more clients and then communicate with their current clients, and, you know, smooth out their business. I have owned studios on and off. I'm not going to own any more studios, but you know, the structures and the way that studios work always has fascinated me. And also producing professional development events for tattooers. So, well, maybe sometimes a party here or there. For the most part, all of the events that I've been throwing for 15 years are about how to inspire tattooers, how to share with each other, to educate and whatnot. Because I found that to be a very positive business force. And then I've acted as a consultant for tattoo shops, for tattoo studios, and for a couple people, I've become a fractional executive, which is kind of crazy. But there aren't very many people that, you know, want to operate at an executive level that can still speak tattooing and geek. It's crazy. Okay, enough about me. But it is worth letting people know the frame of reference of where I'm coming from. And Mark, for people that don't know you, that are just watching the video on replay, let's talk about Needlejig just a little bit and some of your relationships with marketing. And
I hate marketing. Absolutely despise marketing. I really just want to make products and make customers happy. But this day and age, you have to get out there and you have to learn how to market. You have to get out there and fight with people that have uh, oodles more money than you do, and you got to learn the game. Unfortunately, it's I look at it as that way. It's forced upon all of us, and it's just the world we live in these days. I don't love it, but guess what? It's there. It's not going away. It's not going to change. So I need to get off my stubborn ass and learn some new skill sets. So that's what I'm
well,
doing. You've been
one of
helping
the
me with
things
this.
that we talk about, or we'll talk about, is getting on the video and getting over being uncomfortable. Now, that said, you know, I've watched a million videos on how to start a YouTube channel. It's like, just get on it, and, you know, your first few will suck. Like, the ones that you were doing, you still had expertise behind it, right? So it's much different to be 25 or 30 or whatever, and to hop on and to do stuff. You just, I guess there's just different values for different people to give through the videos, through the stages of their careers. But in this case, what we're talking about is talking to your clients, through a video. So for instance, if on your consultation page on your website, you don't have a video that's like, hi, I'm Gabe. I'm actually not that scary. You might have, heard different things about tattooing, but don't you worry. We're going to be here to give you an experience that's going to be awesome. And it's going to basically be a compounding positive effect on you for the rest of your life, right? Now you could say that 100 times on video without, only having to say it 10 times to record it, right? And then to edit it. And, we can never get it done right the first time. But as you can imagine, if you take two different tattooers, right, and somebody's going through and there's a lot of different ways they can get to that consultation page, but let's just say they're on two different consultation pages. The one that's got the video is just going to put people at ease. Whew.
Well, and you don't have to write a script and you don't have to put on a production like, there's some of these guys killing it in social media that pretty much have little mini episodes going on, and they're cool, they're fun, they're entertaining. You don't even have to do that. If you guys know me or if you're familiar with me, a lot of my clips that I do are really filmed pretty crudely, kind of just sort of jump on the phone, spit out a few facts, say hi. So just quickly try and inform people what's going on so there's something valuable there for them, and then I'm done. I'm not filming a movie. It's not, I haven't gotten to that level or care to be playing at that level yet, so don't be intimidated by it, I guess is what I'm kind of saying. You can just, if you're being you and you're being sincere, your genuine nature is going to come through. So
absolutely, that's being authentic, is essential. Now I suppose while we're talking about that, and sometimes this gets a little more heady or philosophical, right? But like also being healthy, right? Like, so as you're scaling and, when you're getting all this energy, if you're not of sound, if you're not healthy with yourself, if you haven't forgiven yourself for whatever it is, or healed past whatever it is, or if there's still toxic weirdness, you have to be careful because that will scale up too, or be part of, you got to kind of you have to be authentically not have that shit inside of your message, right? And it's crazy because sometimes tattooing, there's a lot of energy behind it. So you could have young kids that are not really all that mature, have a lot of money all of a sudden, right? Or even, or a social media voice, 300,000 followers, and then the stuff that comes out of their mouth has a real effect on the world. But let's talk about, let's move on. I have a whole slideshow here too. So let me try to keep clicking the next button. So we're talking about the different tattooers that are watching the videos here. And, one thing, and there's a couple of core things that have to be in place, so that no matter how much you market yourself, you have to have some key things in place first, and these are givens, and some of these things might take somebody 2 years to figure out. Some of them might take, Mark or I, so upwards of 30 or 40 years to figure out. Sometimes we figure these things out like every 10 years again and again, but the main point is, you have to be awesome. And what I mean by that is like a positive influence, delivering a positive experience. And all in all, you're great. You can look up the definition of awesome, inspiring of awe. And as a tattooer, you kind of have to be, right? Then you get better. And again, part of tattooing is you're permanently marking somebody. So you have to acknowledge that you can't quite do it perfect, but you have to strive for perfection. But ultimately, always try to be better every time, and really understanding the difference between repeating things and practicing things. You need to care about your clients, right? And again, authentically, like, so if you're too cool for school, or you don't really want to do the tattoos, or you just want to do your thing, you don't really want to do your thing for the clients, then you have to take a couple other classes or whatever, right? So like part of the mechanism of a self-reinforcing positive marketing machine is that you actually care about your clients, so you could authentically talk to them like you care about them. And then they will tell their circle that you care, right? And then there's all the other things, that you need to be a good tattooer. And Mark, maybe while I refill up my tea, could you think of some of the other key lessons that maybe you've seen tattooers not put in place before they scale up or before they get famous?
It's kind of strange because I haven't tattooed, for money on a daily basis in a great number of years at this point. But for me, tattooing was just always about, people be like, "Oh, what do you do? What do you like to do? What's your style? This, that, that thing." People ask me what I'd like to do. I said I always like to make the customer happy. That's just, I've always realized tattooing was a service-driven business, and that's what I cared about. I got to do some really cool stuff, and and got to cut loose and do all my own original art on enough of my clients where, I built myself into a position where I had that freedom. That's everybody's goal. But along the way, and even when you achieve that level, I think people still need to maintain that mentality that we're here to serve the customer. That's absolute underlying number one. In the way people are doing it nowadays compared to the way it was when I started, um, it's mind-boggling the amount of effort people put into it. Who was I talking to the other day about just snacks and water and I think it was you actually. Yeah. I was like, but I mean, like we would have water and sugary snacks on hand at the shop because people go lightheaded, they want to pass out, they get faint, they get weak, whatever, and we would always react with the water and the sugary sweets, and it never crossed my mind until now, decades later, that hey, that could have been preemptive. Give them some
Yeah.
water and some treats during the tattoo process. Most this day and age, most shops have front staff or whatever that can just circle through the tattoo areas and just, hey, how you feeling, you thirsty, you like a snack, whatever, like almost
Oh yeah.
I don't know,
So,
kind of like
like,
a food vendor at a ball game or something,
oh, it's
kind of.
amazing. So I'll tell the story of how that happened, right? And this is, and again, this is where sometimes like when people are here, like, how do I get more clients? They're like thinking in their head, how do I post on the social media at the right time with the right social media manager, the right, but part of it really just is producing an excellent experience and really listening to the clients. So for instance, as the tattoo shops were evolving, I was using more digital tools to get feedback. And as soon as we started implementing, we were texting to a short form that had like 2 or 3 questions. We started to get a lot of feedback, and we started off by asking people, how'd you find us? Could we have done anything better? But we found that when we texted people about half an hour after their tattoo was done, or maybe the next day, different clienteles might be a little different. But the point is, within a day, we would follow up with the client automatically. And the 3 questions, one of them was, what could we have done better? It was really pointed. And I remember the first month, somebody had said something about, I wish you had coffee. And I was like, we got coffee. It's right there, coffee machine. You have to walk by the coffee. And wait, you know what? Our bad for not letting everybody know that the coffee machine is right there. And this is where sometimes you could even get it 80% of the way right. But if you just don't have it in your script, so 100% of the people that come through are like, hey, no, thanks for coming in. While you're waiting, there's coffee right there for you, right? So we put that into our bullet point list for the welcoming. And then to your point, the next month it was about candy. And I remember specifically being like, oh, I know we have candy. The feedback was like, I wish you had candy. I'm like, I know we have candy. I eat a pound of it a day. It's in the closet right there. And there's you have to walk by a little dish of it. And then to your point, we evolved and be like, wait a minute, why don't we be proactive? So throughout the course of the day, we'd offer them treats. We'd probably even offered them some healthy treats. But part of that mechanism of reaching out to our clientele, asking them, how things are going, and then improving, definitely means the next time people come back, they realize that there's an improvement being made. And it's those compounding effects. A lot of the stuff that we talk about, or I talk about, is about a compounding effect. And so yeah, so let me, what else do we have here? Okay, so those are the other things about
I see
that are
Hector popping in
necessary.
the Zoom meeting, so I'm excited. Yeah, I was gonna
Hector.
say enough of this just gossiping back and forth here. Let's get to your point, see what these guys got questions,
Okay,
and answer their questions and gossip with them.
absolutely. So here, let me, so Hector, I'm going to keep your audio on, so you feel free to talk, but I'm going to stop the video so that as this is going up. So now, why are we here? So right, ultimately, there's a lot of tattooers out there that are looking for more clients. And frankly, I'm not sick of hearing it, but I'd like to help because I want people to be, busier. Then we also have a round of tattooers, a whole bunch of tattooers who are busy, but they're busy doing tattoos that they're not necessarily happy to do, right? They want to have their perfect clientele. And so sometimes it's crazy. I'll be chatting and talking to tattooers who are, have wait lists or are too busy. but then they've also shut off their Instagram direct messages, or they've shut off their Facebook messages, or they only do email, or they only do phone calls, or they've in effect stopped people from communicating with them. So we want to help tattooers who have a clientele, but they want to shift it to their perfect clientele. There's a lot of people who are just simply overwhelmed with communications. Like I said, even though you're shutting it off, you have all of your business emails and your personal emails, and your calendars are, mixed up, and some things are on your text and some things are on your Instagram DMs, and you've, lost, pictures and here and there. It's crazy. It get crazy. And again, part of it is that this is just kind of the natural evolution. We all, for the most part, have just kind of stumbled into it and are doing our best. But that said, once you come up with systems in place, it's crazy. And then, a lot of tattooers just aren't straight up booking, 80 or 100% of their time, right? And again, this is where it's like, let's just, take a peek at your schedule. If you're there 5 days a week or 4 days a week, you could kind of gauge in your mind how busy you are. And then there's a little bit of a gap, right? Maybe you could be 30% busier or 20% busier. Sometimes there's tattoo shops that'll have 6 people, and 6 people could be 20% busier just with some simple mechanisms. And 20% for 6 people is quite a bit. So if you're not booking at 80 or 100%, there's no real, I mean, I guess some people book 100% and then have walk-ins to cover, spare days. So let's try to do that. And then straight up, if a lot of people are understanding that they need to get into the computer, maybe they're on Google Calendar, but they know there's a better way, right? And so sometimes this is how we could help with just simple scheduling. It's like, there is a better way. You can spend an hour, lay out all of your week's schedule, social media posts, and then relax and not have to stress about, all that stuff. So, yeah, so those are the kinds of, for the most part, some of the problems that, a lot of tattooers are working with. I'm going to take a breath, take a peek at the chat room, and then there's some people on the Zoom call. So I don't know if anybody wants to hop on and add to, what they would like to see out of the seminar, some of the questions or problems that they're having. But like I said, I got to take a breath. How you doing, Mark?
I just opened up the actual YouTube in another window so I could see over there and pop into the chat and see what's going on there while you were talking. So yeah, weird now because
read me some comments. What we got?
Screen, but everything's not timed because of the delay. So
that's okay. We read off some of the comments here. What do we got from? It looks like Randy's got what's Randy saying there?
Well, Randy's happy that we're confirming what he's been doing for the last 10 years is correct. And well, Randy always thinks he's correct, so that's just the way he is. But love you, Randy. Hope you're doing all right, man. And yeah, you're correct. Too many entitled new artists.
And there's let's see. So there's too many entitled newer artists not willing to do anything, right, to help get the customers. So that's So just my pet peeve, like I was saying, one of the reasons why we're doing this is when we're on the Facebooks and people are like, what are you all doing to be busy? It's like, they're not even doing level 1 or 2 stuff. And so that's, we're just about there, now that we have, more people here and more people there, we'll start to go through some of the actual tactics. But yeah, awesome. So let's I guess we're almost ready to get to the level 1 stuff here, huh? But first,
I was gonna say we got some people tuning in finally here, and we're just been rambling back and forth for the most part, but I'm wondering if you could enlarge your screen so that you take up the full screen, get the split screen out of there. They don't need to see my face. I'm not doing anything important today. Because we're seeing the insert on yours and we're seeing an insert on an insert, and I don't think they really can see your bullet points there. So maybe kill my video feed and you take the full screen.
Awesome. Okay, so, well, there is a better way. Look, I have that as the last post there. So let's move on.
Beautiful. Looks much better.
before we get too much farther, oh, you know what, I could, I know that you don't like it, but to break it up a little, I'm gonna swap it out here, boom. So before we get into like the actual stuff that we can actually do, we do want to think about our client persona. So let's take a breath, and then we're thinking about our clientele as a whole, either as a solo artist or as a studio owner and the studio's clients. And we really kind of want to think about this, right? So before we start to go get more clients, and at this point, I think like a third or 40% of Americans that are like 18 to 60 are tattooed, you know, somewhere along those lines. It's crazy amount. And which in my mind means half of America wants to be tattooed. And so it's a matter of figuring out who it is that we actually want to tattoo out of everybody. And it's easy to say everybody, but you know, you can't really, it's hard to market just to everybody because everybody's a wide variety. So we want to narrow down 2 or 3 or 4 of our best types of clients. And you're artists, so you could actually spend an hour and draw them all out, right? And you want to think about, you know, who they are, and you can think about the clients that you have now, some of your best ones. Think about, you know, what do they like, right? So as you're talking to them and you're kind of knowing, you know, what are they into? What are their interests? You know, who are the types of people they're talking to? Where do they go? You know, and for me, this is a pretty important one, which is where can we put things, right? So it's like, you know, where can we put, I don't know, you know, one of the ideas is posters. Where can we put posters that talk to the people that are our people with stuff that they like, you know, that will engage them, right? And then ultimately, why would they get tattooed by you, right? And so, Mark, I remember we were chatting about unique selling propositions, USPs, right? You know, what makes you unique? And every tattooer really does, you know, deliver a different experience inside of a studio, which all the studios deliver a different experience. And now you're what makes you unique doesn't necessarily make you better or worse. It just makes you unique. What, you know, the attention to detail that you put into quality and how much effort you put in and all those other things are going to what make you great. But you need to identify, you know, why somebody would want to get tattooed by you. This is a great opportunity in the chat rooms or in the comments sections if you're watching replays to, you know, think about it and write up why would somebody get tattooed by you instead of somebody else. And again, quality might be it, but there's got to be something about your experience or the type of person, right? So maybe you just tattoo sleeves in a quiet, private space with a water fountain or whatever. Or maybe you're excited to do the tourist tattoos and tattoo 3 to 10 people a day while they're having, you know, a vacation in the best times of lives. I don't know what it is, but the main point is you want to figure it out, and then that's how you use it, you know, those elements to attract the right person. And so if you're just going to go out and start marketing and sending emails or putting on posters or talking to people or whatever it is, and you don't quite identify that persona, then you're just going to be a lot less efficient. It certainly could work, but again, you know, we're going to try to get the most out of our time and whatnot. And as far as this is concerned, like I say, there, definitely get a second opinion. You could do a search online for like client personas. I made this slide in like, I admit it, I made the slide in like 5 minutes just before the seminar because I was like, oh shit, we have to talk about client persona before we start talking about all of the other things. So, oh, let's get our notebooks ready. I'm going to take a little bit of a breath here. I'm going to refill my tea, and it looks like we got a question in, or at least one in. And
Randy just said his biggest obstacle is getting the artist to engage the customer while they're tattooing them. He feels like the clients won't come back if it's too quiet. And Randy, I can't stand artists using headphones while tattooing. It's I mean, maybe at a convention setting, but you have to take them off regularly and interact with your client. They are the most important part of the whole journey there. Tattooing
absolutely.
is such a personal interaction. So I agree with you there. And I just think that might be a younger generational thing because I do not see a lot of guys my age wearing headphones while they're tattooing their clients. I
No.
think it's generational, but just
Well, a
simply
lot of it's about how you recruit too, right? So, like for instance, if your recruiting video is like, "Hi, I'm Gabe Ripley. I'd love to have you think about working at Lasting Impression Tattoo. It's lit. Huh? Is that fun? The type of tattooer that we're looking for is one that really takes the client experience, hopefully to new levels, or at least as serious as you possibly can, because we understand, or we believe, that the positive compounding effects tattoos could leave on their clients will actually make the world a better place. And it's kind of hokey. If this isn't the right place for you, maybe, you can, go work for somebody else that, does things differently. And again, this is one of those things, there's no judgment. Somebody else's might have a recruiting video that's like, we love to tattoo, all sorts of people in our busy, street shop. So, be prepared to make, 4 to 6 people's dreams come true that day, and their names upside down on the wrist is the most important part of the experience. So you could spend 2 or 3 years doing that before we move you into the custom. And again, you kind of can you should be crafting your recruiting based off of the experience that you want to deliver. And I could already almost hear, how do you, I have a shop of 10 artists and 6 of them wear headphones. How do I shift the culture? And it's tough, right? Like you almost have to recruit, based off of the types of experiences that you want to deliver.
And let me just say, as a longtime employer, it's something that I learned way too late in the game. Was it is very, very important to cut weak links out of your team. Basically, when you notice that it's a problem, because if not, it degrades the entire team, the entire experience, the entire business, the atmosphere, everything. So if you can't get somebody to change their behavior more in tune with the vibe of your shop, then you really might want to you may want to just sort of let that person go.
Yeah, it's we were talking earlier, one of the notes I have is about how in this case, the metaphor is a chain is only as strong as the weakest link, for better or worse, right? And, if you're looking, and this is where it's really important to cast the vision for the studio. If you want to truly have a world-class studio with world-class guests and world-class collectors, you have to make sure that your front room people, know who walks through that door, right? So I've had, guest artists come into the studio and the support team person didn't have any idea who they were, which is, okay if that support team person is always respectful, to everybody. But if all of a sudden, we didn't do our job and hire the right person, and so they're not respectful to somebody they don't deem important, and then somebody important comes in, again, important just due to the nature of what they've actually achieved in their lives or whatever. Again, to your point, like you're only as strong as the weakest link, and in marketing, when we're talking about all the different things that we're going to start to do with marketing, again, it's like a circuit, it's like a chain, it's like a connect the dots picture. And if you put the dots out of order, or if you don't connect the dots, or if your circuits are not connecting, then it doesn't work. Or if the machine's gears aren't right. So we want to make sure that and I'm about to get into all of the different, not all the different things, a whole bunch of different things. Just pick a couple of them and then do them right. Make sure they're always connected back to, consultations or appointments, right? So if you put out posters on the streets or you're sending out emails, we want to connect those efforts directly back to the consultation forms, so that when we do them twice a week or whatever, or twice a month or whatever, all of a sudden now there's a real connection of our marketing that's feeding into our efforts, and our energies are feeding into people actually clicking the buttons to actually make appointments. So many times, like, I've seen people put out posts or put out posters or put out emails, and there's no actual, direct call to action. And I'm just as guilty of it, because sales are one of my last things on my mind too. But okay. So let's get to the next, let's get to our first, how do I do this here? Ooh, nope, I get here, boom. Okay, so this is just level 1 stuff, right? Emailing our satisfied clients, so this is where, I'm gonna ask you in your comment section, or the chat, do you email your satisfied clients once a month? And this is just level 1 stuff. Please, hopefully you do. Now, ideally, those once a month emails are directing people ultimately to your consultation page. That's very clear. and sends people in. And the tendency for a lot of people to be like, well, I don't want to bother people, or I don't want to send out too many emails. It's definitely natural. I definitely get it too. But two things. One, your satisfied clients of all of the people want to hear from you, right? And then two, they'll just take themselves off the list if they don't. Whereas all of the other people that are on your list want to hear from you and are likely to click on the links to book another appointment. And in marketing circles, if they want to get off your list and if they don't want to buy from you when you communicate with them, then you shouldn't have them on the list. So it's okay for them to come off. So if you're looking at your, unsubscribes, that's okay. Let people unsubscribe. Now we want to make sure that we're always emailing, once a month or twice a month, something of quality. But hopefully you're doing something of quality, right? Or, you're either going to a convention or coming back from a convention. You either are working on a tattoo that you really want to do more of, or you're making a painting or drawing, and Procreate things that you want to do more of, and then emailing them all to your satisfied clients. You could do this, with various tools. I would suggest the TattooNOW tools. Especially because our emails, will wire right into other parts of your business. That's one of the benefits of having all the tools under one roof. But the main thing that I care about is that you are emailing your satisfied clients once a month. Okay. What's up next? Oh, posters. Okay. So this is like, almost like street team promotion. Again, this is street team promotion 101. Make sure that twice a month you have 30 to 150 posters going out on the streets. So before we were crafting our perfect clients, right? So maybe they're hanging out at the gyms, maybe they're hanging out at the coffee shops, maybe they're hanging out at the rock and roll clubs or the music venues or I don't know where they're hanging out, but you do, right? You've already kind of mapped them out. And some of your best customers have already, you can think, okay, well, this customer goes here and does this, blah, 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 right? So what you want to do is you want to get posters of your awesome tattoos or your awesome artwork that you're interested in doing. Just be very clear, big picture across the top. I'd like to tattoo you, your name and maybe your address and phone number. And then a QR code, again, the QR code going to your consultation form, right? Now, all of a sudden, you do that twice a month, or you have one of your clients do it twice a month, or you potentially hire a street team if you're in an area that has a street team to do that twice a month. All of a sudden, your clients are talking to people that are looking at those posters while they're waiting in line at the coffee shop. Oh yeah, that's, that looks great. Oh yeah, I got a tattoo there. And again, these are all compounding effects. After 6 months of having posters out on the streets, that all of a sudden turns into your portfolio actually being in front of people's faces, and clicking those buttons more. Gift certificate blasts. Actually, you know what? I think I want to hit another one first. Yeah, no, we're just going to go in order. Unless, Mark, you got any comments on anything that I just hit up or?
No. I kind of got sidetracked here. I was looking at a different window, answering a business message. So sorry.
Awesome. Oh, no worries at all. So here's another one, and this one it's amazing if you own a studio. If you don't own a studio, if you're an artist, if you're an independent contractor, then you should have some leeway to be able to do some gift certificate blasts. If you're an employee of a studio, you might be shit out of luck on this one. But a gift certificate blast is basically, now that you kind of know where your clients are going, and it seems like some people already have posters that are going down the streets. Good faith from the chat room here is already putting posters out now. So those business owners become a great connection, right? So one of the things that I've done many times in the past is I've put together a list of my favorite studio or partner businesses, or who I want to have as partner businesses. I might put together a list of say 30 to 60, and there was a lot of bars on there, of course, at the time, and restaurants and whatnot. And we just straight up sent out probably like $100 to $200 in gift certificates to each of them, either in denominations of 25 or 50. And I have to say, if this is you know, a trick that, you know, it's almost, you know, impossible to screw up, right? If you're a business and you get a letter that's like, hey, Lasting Impression Tattoo really loves your coffee. Here's, you know, $200 and gift certificates and 25s. You can give them to your clients or to your staff, right? And again, you can know in your gym, here's this or whatever, right? So then all of a sudden it's just a goodwill measure. We're just giving, you know, from our studio to you, or from my artist as an artist to you. Those business owners now all of a sudden have made friends with a lot of their staff. They're all coming to get tattooed. You know, it's well, and I think of it as like a promotional budget, right? So it's maybe instead of spending, you know, $2,500 in ads or $5,000 for 3 months in print or whatever advertising initiative, taking that and putting it into tattoo credit means that, you know, I'm basically taking that marketing budget and putting it on what we all know is our best source of new clients, referrals, right? So I guess back when we were thinking about our perfect clients, you know, often our perfect clients are being referred, you know, by people. That's our best source of new tattoos is referrals, right? All these other methods will work, you know, but if you don't have people that are getting referred by your satisfied clients, then amplification doesn't help. And so, yeah, so there we go. So gift certificate blast. If you send out gift certificates to 30 local businesses and you don't tattoo a lot more of the local people that are out and about and visible, I don't know what to tell you. Client appreciation parties. So this is another good one. And I see some people are talking on about using some social medias and then using some paid Google ads. All great things to do. You know, posting to social media, again, it takes a lot of energy to try to get a lot of traction. Paying for ads, you just want to make sure that those ads are being tracked to your consultation forms, because otherwise you could end up spending a lot of money. But also what I would suggest is you could use all of these initiatives together. So if you're having a client appreciation party, for instance, you could be using your paid ads in Google to hit the area people that are interested in tattoos to say, hey, coming out to the Lasting Impression Tattoo Client Appreciation Party, bring a friend. We'll be giving away, you know, $2,500 in gift certificates, you know, and 25s and 50s, right to the, you know, $50 for the first 100 people that come through the door, for instance. So yeah, and then the client appreciation party, again, you know, at least once a year, you should be getting all of your clients together. And this is where you could be emailing them. You could be putting a poster out in the streets that says, Lasting Impression Customer Appreciation Party, you know, 4 weeks at a partner business, you know, where we'll be giving away $25 to the first 50 people that come through the door, as well as a best tattoo idea contest. Ooh, that's one of the future ideas here. But yeah, so making sure having your clients, you know, come and talk to each other and engage with you. And here's another secret about the client appreciation party is then you could document their tattoos. So you have a photo booth corner set up, you have razors and skin lotion so that their tattoos look perfect and they're healed. And then you sit them down in a chair, well lit. They tell client stories, you know, Mark was the best tattooer I had back in the day. Look, it's 25 years old and still looks awesome. You know, whatever the stories might be. You could get, and then you can get, like I said, you know, healed pictures, and then maybe they walk away with a $25 gift certificate towards their next tattoo. Or maybe they get a $25 credit if they book a tattoo at the party. There's all sorts of things you could do at client appreciation parties. In fact, it doesn't have to be a party at a bar where you're giving away lots of stuff. It could be a walk in the woods with your favorite clients, or where you're taking pictures for your next run of nature tattoos. Again, whatever it is that makes sense for you inside of your business. We haven't even talked business mission and values and any of that. But yeah, client appreciation parties. I have a couple more. How long have we been going here? Do we have more time, Mark, or what's people in the chat room having a good time? Am I boring people?
Well, I mean, no, it's good information, but I think maybe kind of leading into Jeff, I think put together some sort of a quick short demo on the platform or whatever to let people see the user interface or whatever, or kind of what to expect or what the options are available, because like it's kind of mind blowing really if for somebody that's just an artist and is not really engaged in the business end, and doesn't have these tools or know they exist, just to see what
Yeah.
the potential and the options are is huge.
Well, let me kind of show off how, well, let me just show off the tools, and I could switch into full-on demo mode for a couple minutes here, and then maybe we'll pop back. So let's
Yeah,
see
well,
here.
that
If I
may
click,
inspire some more questions too.
absolutely. So here we go. Did I just disappear? Oh, no, I'm there. I'm just here in the middle here. Okay, so this is the administration area of TattooNOW. And again, my main goal for the last, well, 25 years or whatever, is basically to help artists save time and kind of get organized. So we've been customizing our dashboards. And this is this is a test account. But you can see here, when we log in, straight up, boom, last month, the number of appointments created. How many confirmed appointments are set up for the future. Let me, so we could see basically our future. We've got our videos. This is a lot of our training videos, as well as during checkout, you could check out your goal, how much you're pulling per day. The main point is here, we have more and more, we have these customized dashboards so we could check all of our statistics. Now, we do have a community section here so that if you have any questions about any of the setups or have any questions about business or anything, you can, hop right into our community. I'm gonna click over here to our one box. And so this is where we could see all of our different communications kind of funneling into one spot. And as far as both organizing our communications while opening up our opportunities, the one box really is spectacular. Now we can see our icons. This is, we've got text messages here, we've got emails, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, some more Instagram. So these are all basically messages that are coming in through here. And what we want is to basically reduce the amount of back and forth. One of the effects that was happening, I was finding as I was dialing people into the software, was that some of the best managers, they would have a question that was asked of them, and then they would answer and then ask the next question that was necessary for the tattoo. And all of a sudden it could go back and forth. And, while it was easier, there was actually more communications. So part of our process, and this is where having somebody like TattooNOW or me, who's intimate with both the software as well as the tattoo world and how to, the particular needs. We're able to set up these really fast, frequently asked questions so that we could basically answer people's question, and then we send them straight to the consultation form. So we were really able to reduce, 3 or 4 or 5 back and forths with, detail-oriented clients and detail-oriented support team people or artists, really into 2 emails or into 2 communications. They say, hey, how much do tattoos cost? And then we reply with, well, it could cost you between 200 and 1,000 or 20,000, but we need to know some more information before we could, give you all the information that you need. Somebody might be asking, is Mark a good tattooer to work on large Japanese pieces? And the frequently asked question here will be, thanks to reaching out for us. Mark is probably the right, or could be the right artist. We'll need to ask a couple more questions before we know. Please fill out our consultation form. And so from there, our consultations will land inside of, we call it the client journey here. Let me stop screen sharing for a second. And I want to load up a client. Oh, here we go. So this is an active client studio. And so we could I'm going to show off how the pipelines are working here. And again, it's, we do a lot of the setup here. It's not trivial. It could be anywhere between a day or 2 or a week or 2 to get it all set up in the context of your specific situation. Everything is a little customizable. But okay, here we go. So, we have the total number of contacts. We have the total number of clients inside of this dash range, which is the time range up here. The number of new clients in that same time frame. The number of showed appointments. They're not using the showed appointment feature, but this will help you keep track of how many appointments are showing up and your no-shows. Then straight up, we go straight to our reviews. So this means that when our support team or us as tattooers or managers, when we log in, we have a lot of our main statistics right there, with the reviews being one of them, right? February 1st, this is great. And then we have appointments that are for this month, appointments for next month. And then we have, how many appointments were made. So we could basically have these dashboards that, keep track of all the right information. Okay, well, what I want to do here is I want to go to a client journey. And so what will happen is when people text us or Instagram us or chat widget us or whatever, they kind of end up in our virtual lobby. It's kind of like if somebody was just like walking in, off the streets and they're in our lobby. Now they're in our virtual lobby. They're asking some questions. And just like in our lobby, our answer is generally, the answer to their one question, then would you like a consultation? So after somebody's filled out a consultation form, right? So we basically keep sending people to the website, to the consultation form. Then they come here into the to booked consultation and we ask their budgets. So you can see here, this is, on February 2nd, this person really did put in a consultation form for, pretty healthy budget, a couple of regular tattoos. But we could look into so the workflow goes, we hop in here, we look at the consultation info. And we could see, these are all the different pictures that were uploaded as reference. It's asking for the different artists and whatnot, and then from there you could organize, this is the right, let's put them into a consultation workflow, or let's bring them on as a client or whatnot. So, and without getting too much into the weeds of all the software, right? Basically we set it up to click a couple buttons and then we send out calendar links so that people could be added to different calendars, and it gets pretty awesome, so that was a quick demo. I don't know if so Mark, how was that? Was that too much, too little? Anybody that's watching, and you guys want to dive into some more aspects like that, or what are you thinking here?
I think it's a good start. And again, I don't use the software in the same way that the regular artist would use it. So me seeing this is aspects of this I'm seeing for the first time, and it's pretty darn cool. We do it on a different scale, obviously, but overall it's pretty damn cool. I guess I'm trying to think of I love the forms aspect of it, and maybe show off the email a little bit, like the fact that like you can get into the way you can get into the automated engagement emails. You do the work one time, they can be personalized, and it just kind of just reminds people that you're still there months after the fact.
Yeah, so let's see, let me find a good so there's two different types of newsletters. This is good. And then we'll be almost in the hour or so. I'm happy to do this again if people are finding value out of it. But let me fire up some of the newsletters, and there's two different types. I need to, as far as the evergreen newsletter, I could probably go to, reinventing, that's where I'll go. Okay, so let me, head on over to reinventing the tattoo real quick. And I'm gonna go to, no, I'm going to, so really one of the beautiful things about what we have going on here is our marketing bucket. So in the overall context, we have and this is a little subtly different because it's reinventing. You know what? Let me hop on back to, you threw me a little bit with the evergreen, because I want to be a little bit careful of whose account I go into to show an evergreen newsletter. But ultimately there's two different main types of newsletters. And as you can see here in our marketing bucket, we're going to skip down a little bit, but we have them all in order. So as far as keeping things organized, it's pretty awesome to have our news and galleries, our post scheduler. So ultimately, we're really taking the same content and then we're going to attach it to our Facebook, our Instagram, our Google Business, our LinkedIn. And then we're going to come down to our email campaigns. And so these are where, if you're not doing this once a month, like clockwork with your satisfied clients, then you're really missing out on an opportunity. And for the most part, a lot of artists will actually have like a MailChimp or a Klaviyo or some sort of email program. iContact, I've used them all. For the most part, if you're paying money for someone else's platform, then we could usually match the price and give you more features. And we don't have any contact limits. But the demo here is, we're able to create newsletters that again go out, and we have frameworks here so that headline here, a little welcome, another image, some bullet points. And then down here we have custom values. So this is a benefit of, again, having everything under one umbrella. These are custom values based for booking links, and we have for sale descriptions. So if you have products for sale or piercings, recruiting, these are different variables that you can include in your newsletters that you change somewhere else. So we have our preferences form, and then those preferences change these variables here. So for instance, we could use the same piercing description or recruiting description or upcoming event description, both in our newsletters as well as in our social media posts. So, we come here to our, preferences setup. Oh, I don't know, this is a test account. Yeah, so we come in here to our preferences setup and set some of these values. And then, so for instance, here in our frequently asked questions, we have all of those values, right? So walk-ins, this is, we take walk-ins, we don't take walk-ins. This is our booking consultation link. This is our booking process. Our upcoming event is the Paradise Tattoo Gathering. This is actually happening October 24th to the 27th, 2024. You should definitely make your plans to be there. But for instance, upcoming event links, when we set these variables here, then we're able to use them throughout, the whole universe here. So if I come over to the, so for instance, we have our workflows. I'll show off some of these automations. We were talking about our nurture and an evergreen newsletter workflow. So this is a very short one. This is a blank one, ready for more emails. But for instance, if we were creating a piece of content, I would come in here and then I would create a new email, and we could plop out, just uploaded a new webinar that we did live with Mark, from Needlejig. Check out the video here, right? Or your favorite tattoos, right? So if you're doing, featured tattoos once a week, you might, or once or twice a month, you might add a featured tattoo to your evergreen newsletter. And then when you're using those variables, so if we go to, let's see here, that's source code. We want to find our tags. So there's a trigger link so we could find our tags here, custom values, and then say our upcoming event. I'm going to come down here to our upcoming event link. So this evergreen newsletter, even though it might go out in a year from now, it's still going to send out the information with the current upcoming event links. Again, this is pretty powerful stuff as far as being able to take the work that you're doing now. Again, if you're posting up a really cool, painting, you should be putting it up on your Instagram, your Facebooks, your Google business listings, and your newsletter. So you should email everybody right away. Hey, I just did this really awesome thing. And then you take it and you put it at the tail end of your evergreen newsletter. And all of a sudden you've taken that one piece of content and reused it in all of the right platforms multiple times.
I guess what I was alluding more towards was like, because as a tattooer, you're getting the consent form, so you're getting their birth dates and all kinds of important information. So you could physically set up a separate email list that just simply sends somebody a greeting on their birthday, potentially
absolutely
a little bit of a discount. You could tie it to your calendars, so you can You can remind people 2 days prior to their tattoo that they're getting tattooed. Hey, get a good night's sleep. Make sure you eat a solid meal before you come. If it's a long session, you may want to bring, a pillow, a blanket, some comfort foods, whatever, just
Oh
all of
yeah,
those little aspects. And then, like you said, 24 or 48 hours after the tattoo, hey, engage them with, how's it
sure.
going, whatever. Are you following
Oh
proper
yeah,
protocol? Blah blah blah.
yeah. So
Maybe
I could show that
two
off a
weeks
little bit.
later, saying, "Come on in and let me get a healed photo." Just all these crazy aspects you could tie into just an automation that gets triggered by a tattoo appointment or a birth date or any other thing.
Yeah, I could show that off. So one of the things I love about the system is that, I am a programmer. I'm a, full-on programmer of, basic since I've been 10. But being able to like suck in 2 or 3 different platforms means that there's like full professional teams that are working on all of these tools at any given moment so that, I could really just be the interface. And I speak geek and I speak tattoo. So this is great. So let me show off some of these automations and workflows. Maybe we'll do another 5 or 10 minutes and I'll just kind of, blast people's minds with it, right? So to your point, we have these automations that are set up from different actions. We have a pretty good variety of actions, right? So this here is our booked consultation workflow. So as soon as somebody's booking into our consultation calendar, and we could set up the particular calendars in here. So I'll just put it on example consultations. So if somebody is to book an appointment on the consultation calendar, then it comes in here and does a couple of administration things, but then it'll send out an email, your the consultation, confirmation email, which basically says, hey, you've just booked a consultation. Thanks again for coming. Now, and then, it'll do everything. To your point, these are all customizable. All the emails and all the lengths of times, and we could send different emails and communications to say if you have a VIP tag on somebody, then you could send everybody through the VIP sets of communications. If you have, walk-in, then you could send them down the walk-in sets of communications. Although I guess doing walk-ins if you're doing a consultation, but I'm just throwing out crazy examples here. But the point is, yeah, and because you can spend some time on here, you can make a best-in-class consultation sequence or tattoo sequence or follow-up sequence, and it should include videos. It should include, like, you should really care. You should tell somebody 3 days ahead of time to stop drinking, time to hydrate. If you're coming here with your family, here's the amusement park or here's the restaurants to go to. Whatever it is that makes your tattoo experience unique or your area unique or all, frankly, a lot of those questions that people always ask, even if the answer's on the website, now you have the answer on the website and you've emailed it to them. And, maybe if there's one that's really bugging you, then you text it to them too ahead of time. So, kind of, Mark, to your point, a lot of the frustrations that people have can be alleviated by having best-in-class communications ahead of time. We could leave voicemail drops inside of these sequences if you find that works inside of the context of your business. And then again, to your point, or to your other point, the follow-up sequences are great. We also do have, send check-in link forms, and then we have follow-up forms so that after a tattoo is done, the artist will get a form and they fill out the appropriate information. Client was great, did this stuff for that stuff, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, attach pictures, to the tattoo or to the client. I guess, Mark, maybe to one last point that you were having before, or you were talking about before, is having all of these communications kind of shuffled into our one box. It gives us the opportunity to keep track of a history. And let me find my sample guy here. When we're looking at somebody's contact, we see not only all of their information that we've ever collected on them. Oh, maybe we should almost, maybe this will be the last thing to get pretty creepy, right? But like, so we have all of the tags that have ever been associated with them. We have all the different workflows that people may have gone through. We have different offers, courses and communities that they may have had. Here in the center, we have a list of all of our previous communications that happen across all of the different platforms. So if somebody texted us a picture, or if they Instagrammed us a picture or whatever, we have the whole record of the whole conversation across all the different platforms in one spot. We have a little section here of some of the actions that they've taken. We have tasks associated with them. We have notes associated with the client. We have any of the appointments that were made, with this client here. So these are all of my previous tattoo appointments. It's pretty crazy. We have all of our transactions. So the ability to kind of keep track of all of the history. These are documents, so we could store particular documents with a client. And then again, lastly, this is payments and transactions. And oh, I don't know, like Mark, you were saying, like as a solopreneur, I'm working for myself now. Having all of this stuff wrapped up here is unbelievable. You know what? I'll do one more. Maybe I'll do one more demo of a really awesome feature. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. If I go to contacts here, so let's say we have a tag on somebody that's like a short list. What I can do is I could, consult, I'll just say this is the list that says these 255 people have identified that they will get tattooed on short notice, within a week's notice or whatever. We have the ability to come in here, select them via that tag or that action, and send an SMS. I'm going to be very careful here. Select one or more. Oh, so let me select everybody. Let's just pretend I select everybody. I select all 255 records. I could send them all an SMS right now that says, hello, Gabe's had a surprise opening on Saturday. If you're interested in taking the spot, be the first person to text back. Right. So now I know that, if almost at best, I can imagine people watching this, if you get a cancellation on Saturday, maybe you have a list of people that you by hand kind of go through, or maybe you have an assistant that gives a call. But this is a way for us to be able to text out 200, or 50 people, 150, 255 people, that text immediately, and then with a link. And then, I guess, Mark, to your point, I could go on with these demos for hours, but, we have both self-booking calendars and, artist-only booking calendars. But so, for instance, these texts can then include a link that says, click here to book the day or whatever.
I mean,
And
almost
again, this here
anything can be
alone,
accomplished. You just gotta, if you name the problem, there's better chance than not that there's going to be a solution there.
well, and therein lies, I'm a CTO, right? So I've been doing nothing but customizing, all the software. Again, for me, I'm happy to customize and not have to actually, do the heavy lifting and the programming. And to your point, like not every it's not like every studio is run different, or every artist studio relationship is run different. There's maybe 3 to 6 major ways the businesses can run and flow. But that said, there's like 3 to 6 ways, and then maybe there's a variation or two, right? So they're either independent contractors or they're employees. Some people take, half the tattoo as a deposit. Some people, I have a couple of clients, they don't even take deposits. They don't have issues. Their clients are very dedicated. For the most part, there's no such thing as an appointment without a deposit, right? But yeah, so there we go. It's do you want to turn on your now I'm feeling a little out here by my lonesome.
Are you lonely?
Uh,
All right.
but yeah, it's there's a variety of ways to go about it. I love customizing things, right? And again, this is useful for both, younger tattooers, and I think about keeping track of all of my contact. Like if either of us have kept track of all of you've done better, right? You're a business and a catalog, so like inherently, you've kept track of a lot of people. I just think of all the people if I kept track of for the last 25 years,
Well, I
that have
mean,
crossed through.
I have a database full of, tens of thousands of customers going back decades, but I would have been more detailed in my data collection, I guess, early on, if I would have known this was even going to be a potential down the road, because we wouldn't mind just a little, hey, happy birthday, or hey, happy birthday, here's, 10% off your next order, or those little things that you didn't know this was coming.
I'd
That,
say I 1,000,000% agree. And here's the thing, right? Like part of it's just science. So I mean, and those things there's a lot of other things that I've got, I've got another 12, or whatever, different tactics and, other really awesome things. There's a bumper sticker blasts where, if you give somebody a $25 gift certificate for a photo of your bumper sticker on their car, all of a sudden your bumper stickers are out and about more. People see your bumper stickers and the posters out on the streets. Like all of these things are compounding effects that if you keep up over time, work. Now that said, I'll just warn maybe as a departing, one of the last things I'll say about it is it's also really easy to give up and there's always problems and you might send out an email to 300 people and no one responds. If you just give up right then and there and say, emails don't work, well, then they won't. But if once a month, like clockwork, you send out an email to 300 people, 320 people, once a month, like clockwork, all of a sudden you will, and you have value, you'll find all of a sudden more people are opening it and then more people are clicking on that consultation. And for real, just tattoos in general are, have a pretty long sales cycle. People don't necessarily just run out and get tattooed or, we may or may not even be looking for those kinds of tattoos. We might want people to take 6 months to make those decisions.
well, I think one of the keys is using tools that most people are ignoring or not aware of, or definitely not utilizing in your area. If you're one of the first people in your area to be taking these extra steps, that's going to get noticed. It's going to make you more money. Your calendar is going to be fuller. Your chairs are going to be fuller. Everything's going to be busier because you're doing everything everybody else is, and one more thing, and that's just every little advantage you can gain these days is important.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, like I said, sometimes I'll see people complaining they're not busy, but I'm walking around. I'm like, I don't see your posters out on the streets. Like, and then you're complaining that the Instagram doesn't give you any action or engagement. I'll see people like both like look for tattoos on Instagram and then complain about it almost in the same post. And again, I guess we didn't really even talk. We didn't get to the Google, like the other. If you're looking for more clients and you're updating to Instagram before your Google business listing, you're doing it ass backwards. Like Google is designed to deliver people that are searching for tattoos near me to the highest quality tattooer that it can within the geographical location of that search. Instagram is designed to fucking keep you addicted to it so that you want to go back and look at another story and not go to sleep and look at ads from Mark saying, BOGO, Marco, BOGO.
Oh, come on. Everybody loved that one.
They do love the ads. Actually, I'm pretty psyched to do the best of ads ad for you.
All right. Anything else you got there, Gabe? I mean, yeah, like you said, you could go on for this for hours, but it's already been an eternity. So, I mean, people have the basics now, and I mean, just reach out to me. I'll answer the few questions that I can. But the truth is, if you want to know more about the platform or marketing in general, I'm not your guy. Gabe is right up that alley or whatever. He can help you out.
Yeah.
If you're interested in the platform, he can customize it. You can do all kinds of cool stuff. Like I said, there's so many tools in there that I'm not even aware of that we don't use yet. It's just it's a
crazy.
massive toolbox. That's crazy.
Well, and if they could get a hold of me for questions. They should get a hold of you for
needles.
The special. Well, for you for needles for sure, but also for specials, because you have is this what's this? Well, whatever. This is just stuff.
Don't ask me. I don't know.
But you have a coupon. You have a special. So there's a link.
Oh, we did do a coupon, didn't we?
You have I think it's 5 people who signed up off of this webinar. We'll get. I don't remember exactly what it is, but if you go to Needlejig, email and contact them, hit the chat bubble, talk to somebody on Needlejig. It might even be upwards of half price.
Yeah, I can't remember what you did. I think he gave us half price off.
Well, now it is
not just for like
price.
6 months or a year, but I think he gave us half price off the full lifetime, whatever. So if somebody signs up, it's half price from now forever for the first 5 people that join through us. So That is super cool on your part. But anyways, yeah, I don't know that code off the top of my head, unfortunately. Major fail on my part. But not to mention, we're going to be blasting this video out. We'll probably publish this anyways, and we don't want to give it to those people. This is for you guys that were actually here. So
Well, you get first crack
call
at it,
us,
then we'll black.
call us at the warehouse or email us cs@needlejig.com. We'll give you the code if you're interested. You could be one of the first 5 to get it for half price for eternity.
Awesome.
So
Well, let's close out. Maybe got a couple of
I've
good
been chatting
faces. I like
along
that a
here for
lot.
a while.
What was that?
I've been chatting here while you've been rattling on and all that stuff here. Chris Ingle says he's basically using the same platform already. He's headed off to a 4-day seminar. So I was trying to let him know that you've been customizing that platform for tattooers specifically for
Wow.
well over a year now. So, and you also have picked up the expense of adding an awful lot of additional applications. So, Chris, you
Yeah.
may have
So
it wrapped up in exactly the way you want it now. But to be honest with you, I would reach out to Gabe. You guys can even compare notes or talk back and forth.
sometimes we
And
hire people.
I wouldn't be surprised if he can't offer you the package cheaper than you're paying and probably with more bells and whistles than what you're currently doing,
Well,
to be honest with you,
to
because
yeah,
it's a
to that point, you know, one of the things that we offer that we barely touched base on, there's 2 other pillars of what we're doing at Tattoo Now. The customized tools are very important, and again, they're customized so that they're really easy to use. People just click through; they're not confusing. But then we also have documentation. So I do have I have a full business plan for tattoo studios that has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know, you supply the collateral and the actual business. But the business plan itself, which includes marketing plans and profit and losses and job descriptions and meeting agendas and like all of the documentation that would run, you know, multi-million-dollar tattoo business. And again, it happens right inside of those navigation bars, right? So your marketing plan and your profit and loss, you know, your marketing plan is in your marketing bucket, your profit and loss is in your management, as well as your weekly meeting notes. And then the third pillar is weekly meetings every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. We have Tattoo Now people and some reinventing business people. We have a business roundtable where we talk about both technology as well as all these other business things. So when I'm out there, you know, talking about, you know, Tattoo Now and the tools, there are definitely people that have other like tools. And as we know, you know, I mean, different people could do different things with different tools. Like I could look at all of your tools and be like, well, I could buy those tools, but I can't make the shit you can make, right? But then also we've got business plan documentation as well as real life, you know, peers and experts that are giving us all, you know, weekly advice and whatnot. So, well, there we go. That's as pitchy as I get.
yeah, no, I mean, you know, Gabe knows tattoo business without a doubt. I mean, he's owned multi-million-dollar studios, so it's you know, it's he knows how to make money in this industry. So if you've got it down, you know, all the more power to you. I'm a very independent guy myself, or whatever. Sometimes I find it's better to find somebody that already has the tools and the experience, and just let them do their magic. So, but
Sweet.
yeah, all
Awesome.
right,
Well,
are we about done there, or what do you think?
I think so. Let's click the buttons and then we'll catch up. I've got a tattoo gathering meeting coming up next. Quick
Okay.
shameless plug. Paradise Tattoo Gathering, tattoogathering.com. Buy if you are one of those 5, maybe I'll even throw in some free tickets.
All right, I can definitely second that. I live on that mountain, so basically, if you're going to be in the area, or you want to be in the area, or if you can make it to the area, definitely come to Paradise Tattoo Gathering, Jiminy Peak Mountain Resort, Hancock, Massachusetts. So I believe it's the 3rd weekend in October, and it is a beautiful area. I picked it to live here. I grew up here. It is gorgeous. You're guaranteed to have a good time, and you're going to have close interactions, one-on-one with some of the world's best. It's just a learning, growing experience. So, and we like beer. So,
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to click the button that says end stream. We could stay on the Zoom for a quick follow-up. End stream. Your stream will stop. My stream has stopped.